Okay,
Ready?
you are?
Hi, my name is Chauncey Spencer II, and I'm the son of aviation pioneer Chauncey Spencer Sr. He was known for the Tuskegee Airmen that met with then Senator Truman to open the doors for the so-called African Americans that we now call the Tuskegee Airmen. And on my trailer here is a 1937 Pierce Arrow, off-chassis restoration. It fits the post-World War II era. On the back, you're looking at an airport built by African Americans, the first airport built by African Americans. It was in Robbins, Illinois, and it was built in January of 1933. And one of the key players in there is kneeled down in a cap here, and his name is John C. Robinson. And John C. Robinson went over to Ethiopia to create the Air Force for Haile Selassie. We're going to walk around the trailer now. So we're going to come on the driver's side. And I'm part of a nonprofit called the National College Resource Foundation. We operate out of Walnut, California. We've been in existence as a nonprofit since 1999. Every year we have a clean audit. We've audited clean with no red flags for the last 20 plus years. On the side of the trailer here happens to be my father, named Chauncey Edward Spencer. And Chauncey Edward Spencer was a key factor to integrating the military. He was just an instrument. As he's been asked, Mr. Spencer, how do you feel being the person that's responsible? And he corrected, he said, hold it, I'm not responsible. Harry Truman is responsible. Without a legislator, all we do is make noise. And when we can get it into the legislator's ear and into his hand so he can sign these laws, then we've made a difference. So it takes all of us as one America to change America. This picture right here on the side is a picture representing the Tuskegee Airmen as a group. I have actually commissioned 3 sets of these statues. One is at the Palm Springs Air Museum, being the first statues of bronze life-size of Tuskegee Airmen in the state of California. The other set is at the Smithsonian Air and Space Museum, and they'll be the first life-size statues of the Tuskegee Airmen in bronze that will open up the Barons of Aviation in March of 2024. The plane that I show here is part of the 302 Fighter Squadron. There was the crew chief was Levi Thornhill, and I have his flight suit, helmet, and everything inside this trailer. And I have his wife here today, Dodie, and I'm gonna bring her out here. And so from here, we're gonna go on into the museum.
What about the pickup truck?
No, it's just part of my. There's no story to the pickup truck.
Okay.
The pickup truck is dismantled. Okay. I can do it. You want to do the story on the pickup?
It's up to you.
No, I don't think that would be.
I'll edit this later.
Yeah, okay. I will do the pickup truck because I want to show you something. I had this patch made, and it came from an artist by the name of Stan Stokes, very famous artist. Stan Stokes painted an oil painting, and when I gave the museum in Palm Springs their statues, they surprised me with an oil painting of Dale White, Chauncey Spencer, and every part of the plane that they flew, the Lincoln Page biplane, National Airmen Association of America, sponsored by the Chicago Defender, with their numbers NC-37W, with Chauncey and Dale.
Awesome.
And that was Janet Braxton.
Right? And from there, we will finally get into the trailer. And when we go into the trailer, we're going to watch our head. It's a low entrance. I'm going to bring you in. And inside the trailer is a panoramic history story.
Woo! There's a lot in here.
It goes all the way from general aviation to military to aerospace, featuring Katherine Johnson. And once you take your pictures, I'm going to ask you to have a seat, and I'm going to cut on my 40 flat screen and ask for 12 minutes and 38 seconds of your time, which is going to be the documentary called Journey to Tuskegee. Was supported by Disney, and Disney built all 4 of my avatars. So I feature in here Colonel/Brigadier General McGee. I figure one of the prisoners of war, Alexander Jefferson, and I figure one of the Top Gun pilots, Harry Stewart, and the pioneer that opened the doors, Chauncey Spencer. And each one of them will be in your film.
Okay, so I'm gonna make one more video pass.
Okay, should I move out of the way?
No, you're good.
Okay. And can I say something while we're here? The person handling the media is the grandson of Bill Campbell, and I brought him in here, and he said, oh my God, there's Grandpa. And so there's Bill Campbell. And so Bill Campbell's grandson, Derek Campbell, is our media person today. And when he found out that I was here, he said, oh my God, you're definitely going to get interviewed. So I brought him in here and showed him the documentary. And I live 1 block from his uncle. David Cunningham, who lives in Indian Village, and I live in Convent. Thank you. The suit here is the suit I told you about that belonged to Levi Thornhill. Here goes his Captain Bars. When he retired, he was a major, and he flew helmets. So he flew, his jet helmet, I'm sorry. He flew in 3 different wars. He flew as a crew chief in World War I. He flew as a fighter pilot in the Korean War and Vietnam.
So can you hit that one more time about the flight suit?
Sure, the flight suit belongs to Levi Thornhill. Levi Thornhill was the crew chief of the 302 Fighter Squadron. The Tuskegee had 4 fighter squadrons, the 99, the 100, the 301, and the 302. And he was in charge of the maintenance on the 302. He continued in the military. He fought in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And when he retired, he was a major. This birthday card right here was when he was 91 years old. And all the Tuskegee Airmen that were alive in Los Angeles came and signed it. And I've got the autograph. One more thing since you're looking, the nurses, everything had to be black, so Della Rainey Jackson was the first chief nurse, and here's the original first set of nurses, and many of these nurses married Tuskegee Airmen, and many of the nurses during their spare time, since they weren't under any surveillance and the blacks owned it, they let them fly around so the ladies in there learned how to fly the T-6. Over here is my father's pilot license. He received his pilot license in 1936. One of his favorite people, B.O. Davis, and the other was Chappie James.
Chappie James.